Chapter 1. See You in Stanton. Written and read by Vivek Chandra.
Hello and welcome. You have been placed in a Klesher rehabilitation facility for violation.
Just write it down. Keep a journal at least. Fuck. She didn't even know me. I've been here 5 years and they dropped this shit on me at the end. Everyone's got problems. Writing shit down ain't gonna change stuff. Perhaps not. She had an exaggerated expression and a voice like a strangled bird. But it will help connect you to your humanity and your purpose. She raised her hand slightly and lifted her chin at the end. The straightening of the back at the last moment was class. This bitch was crazy. Everyone has a story, full of beginnings and ends. She looked down her nose at me and raised an eyebrow. What the fuck did that mean? They shape you and forge you and show you the way. Think about your choices, your stories. This shit was straight out of Klesher's fucking rehab manual, and this bitch was putting on a show. She was standing at this point, her arms waving about. Learn from them. When you're a free citizen, write about them and remind yourself that you can be a better person. She lowered her head, her arms out wide, and stared at the ground for a minute. This bitch didn't know anything about life. She was an insane person working in a prison. All of us here at Klesher. She paused and gently motioned about the room. No one else was in the room. Are proud of the work you've made here at Klesher to improve your life. She raised her voice again and with arms stretched out like she was at the pulpit, cried out, Our time looking after you has proven Klesher rehabilitation plays a vital and significant role not only in the rehabilitation of our guests, but in preparing them for civilian life. She finished with a flurry of both hands. Now, some people have a laugh. This bitch had one of them laughs. It pierced out and almost fell off the fucking stool. You're being released today. She looked and sounded completely different. You're a fucking maggot and will always be a maggot. Throwing some paperwork down, she left. Good luck, she said over her shoulder. You're gonna fucking need it. It's just a quick drop, laddie. No more than 5 minutes and you'll be on your way home again. He always had this stupid fucking grin on his face when he talked. I don't know why they called him Johnny the Goose. The guy was a fucking weasel. It should have been an easy drop, but Johnny was an idiot. Who packs stims in unshielded cargo? Hundreds of fucking drops all over the verse, and this time, I don't check the fucking cargo. I was keen to see Pop. It had been years since I'd jumped in and seen him at home. I figured this quick trip for Johnny was a good chance to see the old fart. I don't know why he liked Lawville. The place is a shithole. I think he had some chick this way back in the day. Fuck. That mistake cost me 5 years and the last chance to see him. Drop out near OM1 and make a short burst heading 320 for 142 clicks. Pop told me once. He ran more cargo than anyone I knew. He knew all the neat spots when you needed them. There's a neat little rock cluster perfect for a drop. I'll send you the quads by glass. Pop's Moby glass was a relic, but it still worked, and I should have fucking listened to him. Did I fucking listen? Of course not. I figured I'd drop into Everest first for a quick burrito and then make comms with the Goose to arrange the drop at Pop's site. Is the cargo shielded? That's all I had to fucking ask. That one question would have changed everything. Nah, Crouch, you'll need to run quiet. That's what Johnny would have said. And don't stop for any fucking burritos. He would have grinned that stupid grin. Dickhead. I'd been running cargo with Pops for years. You fucking use different methods when you're running quiet. Don't fucking carry stims unshielded. That's the first thing. And don't fucking stop for a burrito. Well, it's my last day. I'm done with this fucking place. That bitch was living with the fairies, and Klesher can eat their spiritual guidance. But she was right. Everyone does have a story. Fucking 96 years the bastard caused trouble for. He'd done everything and been everywhere. Killed people legally and killed people illegally. Someone you'd hear others talking about when you're in the middle of nowhere. What the fuck are you doing here, Crouch? He'd say that every time, even when he knew I was coming to see him. I learned as much as I could from that old fart. Yeah, not bad, I'd chuckle. Good to see you, Pop. What's new? The old bastard would play daft, curl his hand around his ear and shout so the whole bar could hear him. Speak louder, you prick. You sound like a bug farting. Pop was a fucking hero, a legend. He knew everyone. He ran jobs with Everston Hope back when the Keel Belt Alpha was the spot. I remember making the jump from Terra once, through the Hadrian jump point, so we could hook up with some movers on the ice fields of Hadrian 3. That was fucking random. Those guys were something special. His days floating the black are done now. The old bastard carked it just after that shit with Johnny went south, and the folk here at Clash had decided I needed help, adding a chapter to my story. When the old girl's yours, he always used to call her the old girl, she'll need a new quantum drive. The poor sucker has done a few miles. The bucket list, an old nomad Pop seemed to have had forever, was his old girl. Pop had flown all sorts of shit for all sorts of people. I'd see him in a Freelancer Max one day and he'd bugger off for a few weeks and come back in a Prospector. But he always had the old girl parked up somewhere. I tell you, son, that always meant a lesson was coming. The best maneuvers in combat are the ones that help you break contact and run. He'd always stare off when talking this kind of shit, like he was remembering something. Unless you really gotta kill someone, then fucking plow it in. He'd look at me with a grin and take a sip of gin. He always had gin. Pop joined the UEE Navy when he was 17, right when all that shit went down in Caliban 3. The stupid bastard served for 14 years. He said it shaped him. Perhaps he was right. I'm the fucker in prison after all. His life was full of stories. He used to say he wanted to settle down in some clusterfuck of nobodies and just drift off. But it was never like that. He could never have been like that. Pop was always looking for something to do. He never had to wait long either. He knew so many people from his Navy days that something was always coming up. He took me in when I was 5. Pop never had a wife. I never knew one, at least. Married to the black, he'd always say.
Congratulations. You have completed your required sentence in our facility. We at Klesha Rehabilitation are extremely proud to have played a role in your rehabilitation and hope that you've used this time to better yourself as a human and as a member of civilized society.
Today's the day, though. I'm fucking done with this place. I just hope those shitheads at Everest have Pop's old nomad. That stupid bitch told me to be waiting.